B2B service-based business owner, and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact, and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. I am always fascinated by how many B2B service-based businesses say to me, I don't really play on LinkedIn because I don't know what to do or how to do it. My clients aren't on there, because it always leads me to saying BS. And that's why I'm super excited today. We're going to be chatting about LinkedIn and specifically how to leverage the LinkedIn social media platform to grow effectively your business. Welcome. Going to be coming onto our show today. This is Deanna Russo. Welcome to our show this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited to have this conversation. You have been a LinkedIn friend of mine. That's how I know you. That's how I first crossed paths, because we are belonging to some people we have in common on that platform. Let's talk to me about your triangle strategy and the solution that you bring to business owners who want to get comfortable and accelerate their growth on this platform.
Absolutely. So to start, the triangle strategy really started because I didn't want to be one of those spammy, yucky people. So it really started because I thought to myself, there has to be an alternative. And what I mean by that is I started in a sales job about 5 years ago, and that company wanted me to cold call message people all over the place. And I thought there's got to be a better way, because these people don't know me. They don't like me. They don't trust me. And so why would they do business with me? So it just didn't make sense to me. So I created something that I now teach. And it's all based on your profile. It's based on strategic engagement and content. That's the triangle in essence. And if I was to morph that triangle into a square or a rectangle, the fourth piece would really be consistency, because without any consistency, those pieces of the triangle don't work. So that's it in essence.
I love it, because I think that, people sometimes have a really confused idea of what is LinkedIn. Like, LinkedIn has been around forever. Interestingly enough, LinkedIn just said, happy birthday. You've been here since 2004. You're one of our original, almost founding members. I've been on this platform for so long. And people think of LinkedIn as a job search platform. And sometimes they are only building their network when they're in the job hunt or they're looking for people to join their team. And I think sometimes that's where it all goes wrong, because LinkedIn is a business network. But I love the fact that you started your journey in this place by saying, we are here to network, we are here to grow, and yet at the same time, spamming people that you have zero contact with, have done zero research with, and have this really cold, non-effective strategy can sometimes give any platform a bad reputation. And so when you're working with your clients, why do you even start at the beginning with saying LinkedIn has to be a place you play?
Well, really, it is about, if you don't have fun with it, if you don't play, then you're going to think of it as another job. You're going to think of it as something that you have to do. And how can you be consistent at something that you have to do, as opposed to something that you like to do and that you enjoy doing? It's just like exercise. That some people, they're just like, oh, it's a job. I just don't have the willpower to do it. But if you have fun with it, if you develop a routine that works and is fun at the same time, then it's so much easier to be consistent with it.
It is 100%. I have a good client of mine who's very active on the LinkedIn platform, as are almost all of my clients. I can't think of, well, there's one exception, as always, there's one, but most of my clients are very, very active on this platform. And one of the things that I remember we first had a conversation around was, she's like, I'd worked with a previous coach, and they told me I needed to do 3 times this on this platform, 5 times this on this platform. And she's like, I feel like this big sense of obligation. And I said, well, that's the problem. Like, whoever told you that, I'm glad you're not working with him anymore. And because what if it feels heavy and it feels like a burden? You're exactly right. You won't do it. And yet these are people that you're hopefully sharing common interests with. You are wanting to create results with, and you want to learn from each other. And so why wouldn't you want to engage there in a way that sounds authentic? So let's talk about authenticity when it comes to this platform, because it is a business platform. And sometimes I think the risk is that we get robotic.
Yes, we do get robotic. Right, absolutely. The best part of authenticity is to be authentic without saying that you're authentic. And what I mean by that is, let's just relate to each other. Let's find a common bond. Let's find something that is a similarity between us that we can talk about. It doesn't have to be work. It doesn't have to, it can be something that you have in common to show that, hey, I'm a human. Because really, we're all humans on LinkedIn. We should be. We should all be humans.
Bring the human back, please.
I really want to see that you're a real live person. I want to poke you to say you're real, you're a real person. And so if you can find something that shows, yeah, this is me. This is what I'm all about. And using that triangle strategy, think about that in every single thing. Think about, how can I be human in my profile? Think about, how can I be human when I'm commenting in the circles where I want to be more visible? And how can I be more human when I'm creating that content? You're going to have success as long as you're consistent with it all the way around.
I think this is so important. And, you know, anybody who's been following here, Amplify Your Marketing Message, for a while knows that I scream from the rooftops on every occasion I can. Bring the human back into the business, especially because I've noticed, of course, a lot of AI showing up on the platform, and I can spot it a million miles away. The regurgitation of my content is the comment. The similar comment from 10 people on my platform, because they all use the same post script for Give Me Content AI. I think, you know, doing something well, human, at whatever speed you like, is going to have far more impact than I ticked the box in terms of engagement. And that's why I often think one of the things we've talked here on the show is think about your environment, because that is how you can show you're human. You want to be thinking about, you know, I saw that you have that book on your shelf too. You know, what did you think of it? Or I see that you're a sports fan of this. You know what? I'm an anti-rival. Or you know what? I'm actually a fan too. And we're few and far between. But it is the thing that you can leave clues around and give a place to show up as human. And I think when you start with that, the worst thing you can do on LinkedIn is, one, spam people coldly. Please stop that. Honestly, I get about 10, 20 a day, and it's driving me crazy because you assume I'm failing in business, which is never going to help you sell something to me, because it's not true. And the second thing is then saying to somebody, you need me.
But do I really? Do I really? Because you would know if I needed you if you actually had a conversation with me. If you actually went to my profile and you saw that I was your target customer, if you, I mean, that's something too. You get these cold call DMs from people and asking, can I help you hire for your team? And I'm like, don't have one. So all you have to do is look at my profile and see that it's me, myself, and I just don't get it. I don't. And it doesn't take that long to do it either.
No, I had a really funny exchange pretty recently when somebody said to me, you know, we actually met networking. So of course, then we connected on LinkedIn, and then they were adamant I was their target market. And they were really trying a full court press. And I respect it, because you came out heavy and hard. You were not prevaricating or trying to do this subversively, but you were like, you are my audience. You're my buyer. And I'm like, I'm really not, because you're trying to sell me automation. And if you know anything about me, I'm about high touch, high result, conversation. You can't buy a $9 thing and become a client of mine. I don't buy into that model. They're like, but we could get to the whole bunch of people to buy the $9 thing. I'm like, I don't want it. It's not my model. I don't like to do business that way. And I probably spent far too much time having essentially an argument saying, I'm not your buyer. You're wasting your time. So what I'm hearing from you is think about your triangle strategy. Think about your capacity to be consistent. And I personally, schedule that 30 minutes at the end of my day to think about what's happened on the LinkedIn platform that day. And I think about the 20 minutes I spend usually with a cup of tea in the morning before I start my day, engaging in some content to kick the conversation off. And then if I have something of my own to contribute, it's warmed up the platform. And then, that just helps the whole rhythm go. But let's talk about what to expect in LinkedIn in terms of growth. And what does growth really mean on this platform? Give us your thoughts on this.
Growth means what you want it to mean. If you set goals for yourself at the beginning of, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is my goal for my content, for my commenting, for whatever you are coming to LinkedIn to do, you need to set a goal at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then the growth is monitoring those numbers and to see how your profile views are ticking up and to see how your engagement is on your posts. And you know what? Do not concentrate on, oh my God, I only had 200 views for that post. I am never posting again, because it's a roller coaster. I will tell you, just like owning a business, LinkedIn is a roller coaster. There are ups, there are downs, there are ups, there are downs, but you have to hold on tight for the whole thing. I really think, Christine, that I should have taken a video on a roller coaster recently with my kids, because I'm like, I could have used that. So
sure could have. Time to go back to the play park.
Right. I was more worried about my phone falling out of my pocket.
I'm more worried about dropping it whenever I want to do events, things like that. Like, this is not going to be worth buying a new phone.
So it's not about the sprint. It's not. It's really, you cannot get to where you think you need to be on LinkedIn in a week, in a month. I started creating content on LinkedIn 5 years ago, 5 years. And I did it in a consistent way. I only posted twice a week, but in between the posts, I came back to have conversations. So it wasn't like I was just posting and ghosting, as the term goes.
Stop doing that, people. It's a social platform. You have to be social for your stuff to reach anything.
Be social. Be socials. Have conversations. If you don't have conversations with people in between the me, I, look at me, then that's essentially what you're telling people. You're just coming to post content and then you're leaving. And this is a networking platform. So network, have conversations with people, get to know people, shout out people when you know that they've made an impact on what you're doing, because that's shaking hands. That's showing the love to other people. And it's not just look at me. It's really, you have to be in this to be collaborators instead of just a connector, instead of just a one connection, or I have to get up to 50,000 connections by next month. Let's see how I can collaborate with people.
Yeah, I think there's a really important thing for people to understand, and that is, what is LinkedIn looking for? And I know that I have lots of people in my network who study LinkedIn, mentor on LinkedIn like you do. And one of the most important things you need to say, and we've said it many times in this episode, so I want to just slow it down, distill it for you. LinkedIn is about conversations. So when you are crafting your own content and when you are putting a comment into somebody else's story or piece of content, whether that's a newsletter, a video, an audio, or a static post, it's not enough to like it. It's about contribute something insightful. Please be human in that. Don't do your AI. It's just a waste of time. You're going to get yourself shadow bound on that platform. You already see it because LinkedIn made a big change about 6 weeks ago. And I know you and I were chatting about it at a time that people suddenly saw their followers, especially if you're a curator status like I and you are on this platform. We saw the numbers go down. I personally didn't, but many did and said, what just happened? I lost all of my audience because there were so many bots, so many automations happening in the background, which is against LinkedIn's rules and can get you banned from the platform. So don't do it. That said, I want real people to have real conversations. And so you need to be thinking about your content strategy and your human connection with that primary thought in mind. What can I add value-wise? Otherwise, you just won't see it reach. And the other thing I just heard you say, which I thought was really important too, is I started with posting twice a week. This is a platform that sometimes it can take time for this to start the conversation. And if you are constantly just posting every nanosecond, you actually downgrade your reach because nobody's had a chance to catch it, see it. And that's why a post from 3 days ago or even last week suddenly starts to move. And so I love the fact that you commented that and said, I didn't rush to what I had to say. I really thought about when I was doing it, it was effective. And I was engaging with other people who then discovered me because that's how, and this is an important story, Deanna and I met. Someone in my network that she is belong with, I'll give them a shout out. It was the Success Champions Connection. Someone I know who's in that community of networking for business owners has Deanna as a connection. And she had posted, I'm looking for support on the following things. Who in my network knows somebody? And I saw it because my connection commented on her post. And I reached out and said, Deanna, I've got 2 things that might be helpful. 1, I can introduce you to X. And 2, I'm happy to have a conversation because there might be other resources I can bring to you. Do you want to have a conversation? And she's like, yes. We had a conversation. We've now had many conversations and we're here today. So this is the perfect LinkedIn example of relationships, add value, contribute something that's really truly going to help somebody with the result they're seeking, give, and you never know what door it opens.
You never know. You never know where it's going to lead. And just having that window open as a potential, as an opportunity, if you keep all of your windows closed, all of your doors closed, and you live in your 4 walls, whether it's on LinkedIn or whether it's in your house, you're really not opening any potential, especially as a business owner. Right? You just never know where the potential is going to go. And to really get to know, like, and trust potential vendors, potential referrals, potential clients, you got to keep the windows open. You just never know where the opportunity is going to be.
And I think one thing about this is so important is you have to figure what you stand for. Because I think, this is okay. This is a platform where it's 100% okay to say, this is what I do. This is the result I achieve. And I know we've seen so many great testimonials of the work you do with Leverage Up and lots of people commenting about the impact their LinkedIn has grown against their own success measures. And it's important that we get social proof, but it's okay to say, this is what I do really well. And here's why people hire me. And if you're looking for this, I'd love a referral, connection, and conversation. It's okay to do that on this platform. So please don't not do that, because I also think sometimes people forget to market their own services, and that's a miss. I mean, we can't amplify our message if we don't tell our own story. But one thing I always ask every guest here on my platform is, what's working for you right now on the platform? Obviously, you're a LinkedIn mentor who helps service-based businesses create new leads, new relationships, new partnerships. What's working for you in your business to grow it right now?
I think what's working is consistency. I really think it's consistency. It's consistency in all the marketing I've been doing, and it's consistency that it works. I a LinkedIn newsletter. I have an email marketing that goes out. I have a website. And when everything is working in sync, I have a LinkedIn audio room. We just celebrated a year of doing weekly LinkedIn audio. And as you know, someone that does a podcast, Christine, it's not easy. It's not like it could be. Some people think of it as another job to develop a media like that. So I book guests weeks and months in advance for my LinkedIn audio room. But to celebrate a year of doing that and to have lots of people come together, it really was a really awesome celebration. And so now I'm looking ahead and saying, look, I've got 2 to 3 months more of guests booked. And I always am thinking about potential for, and LinkedIn audio gives people a potential to come and hear what you're all about. So when I'm talking about my business, that's got to be one of the things at top, because it's a current thing that I've been working on, and I'm getting clients from it. I'll be completely honest. There are people that have sat in the LinkedIn audio room, got to know me, and heard me talk with the guests. And then they're like, oh, let's have a conversation and see what it's all about. And then what happens is I really have to share this example. So I have a client who heard me in LinkedIn audio, went to my website. My prices are on my website. I will just tell business owners that you don't have to do it, but I will share my experience. She saw my price on my website, started out the exploratory call with, okay, I know it's this and I know it includes, so I just have a couple questions. We were on and off the Zoom call within 15 minutes.
Yeah. And guys, this is it. This is use the tools that the platform is presenting. Play the long game. Focus on showing your expertise and building the know, like, and trust factor. When you do that, you're like Deanna's clients. You're like us here in this podcast. We are successful business owners because people say, I hear you, I know what you stand for. And, when I'm done my own struggle, trying to figure all of it out on my own, hire the people here, because they will be the people who will guide you to the results, because they live it and you can see it. Deanna, it's been fantastic to have you as our guest today. How do people come and find you to learn more about the work you're doing?
LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn.
The answer, right?
Look up Deanna Russo. You'll find me. LeverageUpLLC.com is the website where you can find out what it looks like to work with me. I have testimonials on there. I have links to podcasts just like this, where you can hear guest appearances. Speaking. I do speaking engagements too. So LeverageUpLLC.com and LinkedIn. Those are the 2 L's.
I love it. Guys, go and connect with Deanna. And I think what I really want you to do is think about LinkedIn should be absolutely a key part of your pillar. If you are a business, service-based business, it is where your peers are playing. Go play with them. And if you need guidance, go work with Deanna. Guys, thanks for joining us. This is another amazing episode. We will see you all on the next one. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.